place that we live is quite far from where the Navy base was. So I have to ride an airplane, take a bus, go to the base. And the first day, um, it was quite tough. There's like about 1,000 applicants that they called in. We get picked up by a big bus, multiple buses from the Navy, from the gate, and then we took the test, a written test, and then out of that, I think there's like about 40 or 50 that um, they, they segregated us, and then there's about 40 or 50 of us that went through an interview um, the same day, and however many passed that day. About 2 weeks later, we came back for a different test, which was the aptitude test, um, and then another series of interviews. So when we went through that, the next thing was to go and pass the medical exams, and then the whole event took like about 7 to 8 months, and then finally in December 13, 1988, was the day that I signed the contract, which is the same day that I have to stay in the base while we were waiting for our flight to come to San Diego. So I left I left our place the day before because it's quite, it's a day of travel, and then I think that was December 12th, and then December 13th, I just went in by myself. Some people have their family took them or dropped them off. I was just by myself. Didn't really know a lot what would happen, other than I saw my relatives coming out with a better life when they joined the Navy. So that day was kind of like a mixed feeling. I know that there's something great that would happen if I stick with the plan. But it was a mixed feeling because you're going into a different country and then leaving the family behind. So it was quite tough, but I was excited at the same time. So we arrived like late December 18th. I think it was like past midnight, and then I remember it was cold, it was rainy, and then we got picked up by a bus. We went to the barracks. We went to there was a few instructions given at that time, and then I think we slept for like about 2.5 hours, and then they woke us up, and then the boot camp day started from there. We have lots of relatives that joined the Navy and served for 20 plus years. The way I saw how they improved their their family, their children, their life, I think is an opportunity that I've seen that I would want to do the same. So it's about the opportunity, the way things could change if you are able to join the Navy. And again, it's probably because of the nature of my work. When I came here and I was just working in McDonald's, I would probably have kept a lot of my identity with me, being, coming from a Filipino ethnicity, but you can't do that when you're serving in the military. Okay, there's just one, you can't say, you're a Filipino and at the same time you're loyal to the U.S. flag. It has to be one or the other. So I value and I am proud of my ethnicity, but when it comes to expressing what my loyalty is and my patriotism, there's no question about where I stand on that. An engineer back in the Philippines, if you start as a professional engineer, it would take years and years and years to afford to buy a very simple car. Here, when I joined the Navy as an enlisted, I was able to buy a car um, in less than a year. And so much, staying a little bit longer, I was able to buy a house and then so on and so forth. So going back to the Philippines, that would be very tough.